Live from all over this beautiful land, this is the Testosterone Zone with Noel, Keith, and Steve. Take it, boys!
Welcome, everybody, to a special instant reaction episode of the Testosterone Zone podcast. And this is Keith, by the way, and then Noel and Steve. That is we.
Did we win?
We are on a high.
Big time.
Why?
Yes.
Steve, explain why.
Because for the first time in Texas Tech sports basketball history, our men's team is finally going to the Final Four. First time in the history of our great university. We've had a lot of highs and lows in our sports. And the cautiously pessimistic group that we are couldn't be more happy right now. Couldn't be more optimistic. And
yes.
I'll thank you as Coach Beard for your leadership and what you've done with this team. And if we sleep tonight, it'll be a miracle.
It definitely will be.
Completely agree.
Thank goodness it was the early game, because if it was a late game, I just would have given up and just stayed up all night. The
adrenaline would be going all that way anyway.
I could have cleaned the house 2 or 3 times by the time. I mean, literally, man. I'm so wired up right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I couldn't sit down like the last 5 minutes of that game.
I know.
It's like about 5 minutes to go, or I guess it was about 3 minutes to go. I had that moment of, oh my gosh, we might just do this.
I know. Yeah. I hate to even confess this, but like I watched that last shot that they took with there was 2 seconds left. We were up by 6, and I watched that last 3-pointer that he threw up, thinking, God, if he makes this, we're gonna lose.
Right.
Yeah. It was a 7-point shot or something,
I know,
but I was so sure we were just gonna. It was something bad was gonna happen. I don't know what that says about me, but man, I was so worried. God,
I think we're just so programmed into something that has to happen. It just can't be like this, right?
So, I know. Isn't that bad? I don't know.
No, it's just the way it's been.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's reality for us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And
I mean, you listen to the commentators; they don't have any expectations that we're going to win. I mean,
that's the truth.
I think that's my favorite part is the in-your-face moment I'm feeling with the commentators. Just nothing but love for the other teams always.
Yeah.
So it's like finally, it's pretty good. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about this. So congratulations to the Texas Tech men's basketball team. But they pulled off the big W versus Gonzaga. Final score from the heart of, where were they? Anaheim, right?
Anaheim, yeah.
So the final score was 75-69.
Yeah. 69.
It's only the third time in this entire season that Gonzaga was held below 70 points. So
really?
Once again, a testament to our defense. And the last time they scored that few points is when they lost in their conference tournament against St. Mary's. So
wow.
So pretty crazy.
That says a lot.
There was that last minute was painful to me for numerous reasons, but we're not historically a good free throw shooting team this season.
Mm-hmm.
And when it started coming down to free throws and we made all but one, Frank had missed a second.
Yeah.
I just when we kept on making, I was like, we're going to win this.
Yeah.
We're not going to typical Tech this one. Thank goodness.
Man. I was
so excited about that.
Jeez, that was crazy.
I gotta give credit to Guns Up Nation on their fun fact. So now it makes 30. So last night the guys posted, Michigan was the 29th this season, or 29th team this season to have a random off night against Texas Tech. So I guess it's now 30. I just love that. You guys are brilliant over there. That was hilarious.
That was funny.
So I give you all the credit for that. That was awesome. So
that was good.
Oh, it is so funny. A random off night. I love it. Oh my gosh. So
it's so funny listening to us talk as we all sound a little phlegmy. So you can tell we've all been yelling and screaming. And,
oh my gosh.
We are all out of all sorts of oxygen. Also,
how fun would it be to be in Lubbock tonight? You know that?
Yeah, oh my gosh. You know it.
I wish I was in the court jesters, man, right now. I bet that is.
Oh, they're having a blast. Yes. Holy cow!
That honestly was like one of my best memories of all 4 years at college was when we beat North Carolina in Richmond. That was the game that Darvin Ham broke the backboard. And
oh man,
that trip home from that man with the basketball team on the plane. I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah.
So. Good to those kids, man.
Hey, Noel, were you in Court Jesters when Lady Raiders won the national championship?
No, I wasn't even at Tech yet. I was
Okay,
I was
gotcha.
here before I got there.
Forget how spring
So-
chicken you are.
I know, right?
Yeah, you're young and
I'm a
you.
young dude, all right.
Yeah, I remember, I wasn't at that game. For some reason, I think I had a final or something going, or an exam going on where I couldn't get out of. And so I couldn't go to the game. And so, of course, those that were in Court Jesters and were at the national championship game for the Lady Raiders, it was great in the moment.
Yeah.
But there wasn't this huge population or fan base around them to truly feel the gravity of the moment.
Yeah.
So I always remember, of course, Keith was there with me, the craziness and Memorial Circle on campus and all the partying and just the mayhem and chaos we created out there.
Yeah.
It was the first time that Memorial Circle's drive was done in reverse. Remember that?
Yeah. I could be blamed for that.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
In the bandwagon, I reversed traffic.
To this day, I remember that because you were yelling outside of the dorm in the bandwagon, Keith, I need a CD. Remember? You needed the Going Man CD. I still don't know if I ever got that back, and I don't even care. I was looking for it a couple of years later. I'm like, I don't know. Oh yeah, it's probably in the bandwagon somewhere. And I'm perfectly happy with that. That was a night I'll never forget. I mean, we got even the Saddle Tramps let me go upstairs and ring. Were you with me when we rang the bell?
I was not. I don't know where I was.
So special thanks to the Saddle Tramps. Probably got somebody in trouble saying that right there, but that's okay. So
I'll never track that person down.
Yeah.
But, I remember those who were in Court Jesters, saying that, they had no idea till they were flying back and of course, they had this big pep rally celebration thing at Jones Stadium, and so they flew over Jones Stadium before they landed and saw the stadium full.
Yeah,
that's and cool. At that moment, that's when they realized how big of a deal this was, and
that's cool.
I really hope that the students on campus get that experience with this team.
I do too.
I really like our chances. We could potentially play Duke, who I think we faced already this year. We are a significantly better team offensively and defensively than we were when we played them in December.
Agreed.
So I really, really like our chances.
I mean, just think about it, what kind of statement this makes. I mean, we beat Gonzaga today, man. I mean,
I know it, man. Here's a little soundbite of the locker room after.
That is so awesome, man. Coach Beard deserves it. I'll tell you what,
that's freaking awesome, man.
I hope someone in the athletic department's locating a whole bunch of Brinks armored vehicles loaded with money, and they're just finding a place to dump it in that guy's front yard so it'll stay forever.
I agree, man. If they don't just sit down and say, "What do you want?"
Here,
Kirby.
Let me give you this blank check. You just fill it out, and I'll be on my way.
Oh my gosh.
Man, that guy is amazing.
He is completely polarized the campus. He's got the students behind him. He's got the school behind him. He's got his team behind him and the alums. I mean, he just is one of those guys. He's contagious.
Yeah, he really is.
He is just what Texas Tech needs.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That have y'all watched any of his fireside chats?
Oh, I love him.
Oh my gosh,
absolutely love him.
I watched the first one. I watched the first one the other night, and man, I was like, this guy is he's so personable. He's funny as crap too, man. He's really is funny. So what a guy
he was.
He is awesome. So happy for them.
And he's as excited as the kids. Like when they were saying, "We're going to the Final Four." Texas Tech going to the Final Four. Did you hear that at the interview? That was just great. I love seeing that. I love it that he's that excited.
I know. That is
really, really cool.
Fantastic, man.
Wow.
Gosh, that's great.
Really is. And so let's see what else is going around in the Texas Tech world. So Texas Tech beat Kansas State in their first game, baseball, 11-4. And I thought that there was another one going on.
Track and field something, rather, wasn't it? When there's something in
track and field. So there's all sorts of stuff, man. I'm telling you. So Texas track and field, Sutton, Odudaru, Hudson, and Shelton. They ran a 38.87, which was the fastest time in school history. So they had a great one. The softball team beat in Iowa State today and took it to them pretty good. So I mean, we've just had it's an 8-3 game, so they did great. And I don't know what the score is in the second game yet for the baseball team, but they're looking good. So it's another one of those great weekends to be a Red Raider, man. It really is.
Fantastic.
It really is.
Fantastic. So happy. So
yep, 4-3. They won their final.
Wow.
So yep. So
spring sports.
Good day. Spring sports at Texas Tech is a beautiful thing, man. So
yeah,
very, very
totally
proud
agree.
of our school. So you know what? And I'm going to just fess up and say that I busted my bracket tonight, and I've never been more happy. I was rooting for Tech, but I felt reality was that it wasn't going to happen, and I'm so glad I was wrong. I'll never be so happy I was wrong with the bracket.
Tell you what, man,
bust away.
My wife, y'all know my wife, how competitive she is and stuff, and how far she gets into this bracket and the bracket stuff. I mean, she takes it pretty seriously, and she picked Gonzaga to beat us, and man, there's not even a hint of regret on her face, man. She was so ecstatic. So,
oh yeah,
I mean,
we all feel that way. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, hey, so you had college tour number 4 today. How'd that go?
It went really well. Yeah, we went up to Stephen F. Austin today and toured the campus up there. It's a beautiful campus.
Glad it was a good trip.
Yeah.
Glad to see that your wife sported the Texas Tech colors while you were there. That's even better.
I know, right? She had somebody go up to her, hey, guns up. And she's like, hey, man, Final Fours today. I had to wear it. And she's like, oh, man, I'm a Red Raider too. But I didn't wear my shirt. So, but, whatever.
Let's just say that's I'm sure other schools have this, but is it there's nothing more fun than when you're out someplace random, and you run into a Tech alum, or a Tech fan.
Yeah.
So, did I tell you about the time what this happened to me in Sydney, Australia?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. So
tell that story again.
Yeah. So I can't remember his name. I'll have to think about it here. But anyway, we were going to this wildlife park out west of Sydney, and I'm on this train station. And I've got my Tech shirt on, and I hear this guy go, "Wreck 'em Tech," like this, and we like high five, and my wife is like, "Did you know him?" I'm like, "No, they don't have, you don't know, you don't understand, it's so true." Yeah. But anyway, I had high five, and no, he didn't know. So anyway, that's great and all, and then so later on, my son and I are at the Sydney Opera House, and we do the guns up, like the guns up around the world, and so we can post it on the Texas Tech page or whatever. Well, it's funny because a couple of days later, I posted it when he got back. So a couple of days later, the guy that I ran into commented, said, "Hey, it's cool that you were here in Sydney, because I ran into a guy at this wilderness park it was called, I can't remember if it's called Blacktown or Blackshear or some Black Rock. It was someplace train station over there." And he's like, "Yeah, I ran into this guy at the train station. He had a Tech thing on too." I'm like, "Dude, that was me." And so it's like on the other side of the world, after I've posted these pictures 2 weeks later, he happens to see the picture I post of us at Sydney, and it ends up being the guy that I ran into at the train station. I mean, is that not crazy?
That is so bizarre, man.
That's what's great about being a Red Raider. People don't, I hope other schools, I'm sure they do, but there's just something about that connection. And I love that.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter where you are. You could stop and go, "Hey, what's going on?" And it's like an instant bond. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So almost as random as what you experienced, Keith. Yesterday, I flew down to Kenai and visited my store in Soldotna.
Are you making those words up, or are those actual cities?
Yeah,
wow.
There's actually cities. Yeah, so Kenai Peninsula, where Soldotna is. So yeah. So anyway, so I was walking through the store and I see a customer wearing an Arizona Cardinals hat, and so I was like, "Hey, I said my old ball coach is."
Hang on. My friend Kurt. Here's live video of the team coming home from the game. So Kurt Langford, the Tech alumni. This is the people at the hotel greeting.
Oh, okay. Basketball team.
This is live right now. So yeah. So thanks, Kurt, for posting that live on Facebook. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We got a little capture of that. Sorry, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I see this guy wearing a Cardinals hat. I say, are y'all excited to have Kingsbury as your coach? And he was like, "Well, I actually, I'm a Tech alum." And so, I really like Kingsbury. I'm sad to see him go, but I'm glad he's got a good gig now. So we start talking a little bit. I kid you not. Now, there's not a lot of Red Raiders up in Alaska that I'm aware of. So as I'm talking to this guy, I look up, and opposite end of the aisle, this guy walks in to the aisle wearing a Texas Tech hat, and I'm like, what? And so I asked him, "Are you also a Tech alum?" He goes, "Yeah, I've been up here for about 5 years now." And so three of us just talked about the basketball team and the baseball team, and
that's awesome.
It was so awesome to have some Red Raiders to talk to up here in Alaska just for a few minutes.
And that's like home, and that's just it. It's like you've never met these people, and it's just like an instant conversation and a bond. I love it.
Awesome.
I freaking love that.
Awesome. Makes it.
Yeah, that's a cool story, man. How random if somebody else walks in with a Tech hat on.
That's cool, man.
That's crazy. Oh man, that's so good.
Yeah. So it looks like the next game for us is on the 6th, which is Saturday next weekend. And then if we make it to a championship game, then that'll be on Monday, April 8th.
The Monday before Mancation. Could you imagine that celebration? Holy cow. So we have the winner of who?
It's the winner of Duke and Michigan State, I think.
Okay, yeah. Boy, that's going to be a tough one. I think.
Yeah. What do you know what time on Saturday we play, Steve?
It does not have the times listed yet. So we'll have to stay tuned on that one. So, personally, I'm rooting for Michigan State to beat Duke because it's the only way to keep my bracket alive. But I would love nothing more than have a second shot at Duke.
Yeah,
and I really think we can beat them, and I really think we can get Zion Williamson in foul trouble, and get that guy out of the way, and then I think it's all Tech after that.
And just think about how many people hate Duke and how many people then would be cheering for Tech. It'd be worldwide. It'd probably be the first time that the entire world was a Tech fan, united against the evil Duke Empire.
Except the commentators, they're still in bed with anybody else.
Oh yeah.
So. But there was a heck of a turnout in Anaheim. That was a rocking arena.
It really was.
That's pretty impressive to see.
Yeah, man.
And then Madison Square Garden, when we played Duke, there was a heck of a group there too. So we travel well in basketball. That's great.
No, it's awesome.
So, and like you say, we're starving for this. And here's my take on it. This is awesome. And I know that we're fearful of the future, but man, you got to celebrate right now and think what a great time it is, because you just can't take it for granted, man. And I hope we never get to that point where we take this stuff for granted, because it's just a great feeling,
Yeah, it is.
It's a great feeling to be proud of your school. And these, we're setting expectations higher and higher each year, and that's great. But man, you got to sit back and just go, I'm a Red Raider right now, and this is something I never thought I'd see. These kind of days. I remember my freshman year. There was I think his name was Dr. Lawless, if I remember right. But
the president,
yeah. And we were at Carol of Lights, and I remember he got up there, and he started saying something, and we're going to make Texas Tech, one of the premier schools in the nation, and everybody just kind of chuckled. And it was kind of like, yeah, okay, boy, that'd be nice. Really funny. And now it's kind of like we are, we're a sports, we're highly recognized, highly respectable. It's just a great feeling to go. We've come a long way.
Well, the research. Now we're a tier 1 research university.
Not even in sports. Everything. Yeah,
everything all the way around. It's pretty amazing how far it's come.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But, so. Nice to see.
Very, very proud day to be a Red Raider. It's amazing. And I hope that we have another one of these instant reaction podcasts after the national championship. And can you imagine?
I think so too.
Jeez.
Would be really nice to have another one, wouldn't it?
Can't imagine.
It'd be good stuff.
Yeah. We'll just dream about that until it happens.
Yeah. So we traveled to Minneapolis, and the next game you said was Thursday, Steve?
No, it's actually Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Are both games Saturday? Is one Saturday and one Sunday?
It looks like they're both Final Four games are on Saturday.
Okay. And then the championship game is Monday.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. All right, man.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be fun.
Keep our fingers crossed. I tell you, I'm going to have carpal tunnel as much as tight as I was crossing my fingers today, and it's
Yeah.
man.
I'll tell you what.
I've got some good sea legs as much as I was pacing.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's all right. So, well, hey, listen, men's basketball team, Texas Tech, congratulations, you guys. It's fun not only to watch you guys win, but it's fun to see you all play together and hang out together and just celebrate. It's just, man, you can tell how tight of a group you all are, and that's exciting. That's a bond you'll never forget. So, pretty cool to watch.
4-1. It's awesome.
4-1. I love that. I love everything about it. So, it makes me happy. So, looking forward to a Minneapolis fireside chat. So, it's going to be a good time.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this instant reaction podcast. We just wanted to kind of take a moment and celebrate our victory and what a day, guys.
Wreck 'em.
What a day.
Wreck 'em Tech.
Hopefully many more to come. And Wreck 'em Tech. Good job, guys.
Great day to be a Red Raider.
Awesome.
We'll talk to you next time.
Hey, thanks again for listening to the Testosterone Zone. We sure had a blast visiting with you. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, leave us some feedback, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
All Testosterone podcast episodes are written and produced by Noel, Keith, and Steve unless otherwise noted.
The opinions expressed in the Testosterone podcast are our own and not those of our employers, families, parents, kids, dogs, cats, your mom, or any other entity Noel, Keith, or Steve are affiliated with now, in the past, or in the future, or ever.